Hey everybody, this is Paul, April, and Daniel. We are After Walker Paranormal. We are at the Oklahoma Music Hall of Fame and Museum, and what an amazing night this is going to be, hopefully. Daniel, why don't you tell us a little bit about this place?
This place was built in 1903 as a freight depot, and it was built just a few short years after pretty much everything in this area burned down. After a worker in a clothes cleaning shop decided he was too cold and decided to put coal oil on a fire to get warmer. This area has a lot of history within it, with just a very short area. The fire, the 5 depots, this is one of 5. The very first white men that had ever been hung in the Oklahoma Territory were hung not but just a stone's throw from here. There's so much history around this area, and this depot eventually became the Oklahoma Music Hall of Fame and has been since the late 90s, I think?
Late 90s, I believe.
And ever since then has been kind of a hot spot for local artists to
get a start. There's also a lot of famous people that come in here because they're inducted in the Oklahoma Music Hall of Fame,
and they've been placing names on the list since they have opened this as the Hall of Fame.
And there's others that could be here too. People who may not have been invited to be inducted into the Hall of Fame. People who haven't been invited to play on the stage, but they call this place their home, and we're here to find this out tonight. Hey everybody, this is After Walker Paranormal, and before we get going, I want to remind everybody to hit that subscribe button. Go ahead and smash that bell so you can set reminders. And hey, you can follow us on Facebook at AfterWalkerParanormal.com. You can follow us on Twitter X at ParanormalGreen. You can find us, we're easy to find. Come and support us, we would appreciate it. So here we have Chase. Chase, real quick, tell us what you do here at the Oklahoma Music Hall of Fame.
I am the event coordinator and sound engineer. I run sound for all the bands that come and play. I help book all of the bands. I'm in charge of pretty much all of the events that we have here in this building.
Very cool, very cool. And so, you know, Daniel, a minute ago, he discussed a little bit about what this place does and how long it's been around and a lot of the famous acts. Tell us a few of the famous acts that have been through here.
Well, since I've been here, we've had the Turnpike Troubadours, who are kind of a newer name, and they're huge, and they came through. We've had guys like Merle Haggard's kids come through. I don't remember which ones exactly, but you know, I know some of them have came through. But you know, just a whole bunch of guys like that, and gals too. You know, just famous artists from Oklahoma.
And I know the last time I was here, I noticed that Hinder was here.
Yes,
Hinder. That's pretty cool. That's awesome. Good Oklahoma rock group there. Yeah. So, with that being said, we obviously have heard of a lot of these people, if not all of them. But there's also people that, or should we say spirits, that are here too. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, there's a radio guy that works here. His name is Ron Stevens, and he's the morning guy.
For 101.7.
101.7 Okie Country.
Okie Country.
Their studio's just right in there. We'll show you in a minute. He's here at like 6 a.m. every day. And he comes in, and he's kind of a weirdo. He doesn't turn any of the lights on except for the one in the studio. And he swears up and down that he can see crap just running by the hall.
Like shadow figures running down the hall?
Running down the hallway at him. And it's kind of, as he's in the studio, he's like, what? He'll like look back, and there's times where there's a downstairs room where we call the induction room, has everybody we've ever inducted on the wall. And there's times where he'll think that he had turned the light off down there, or it had been off when he came in, and then he would look at all
right back on.
Now, when it was a train depot, I believe that's where their safe was, where they kept all the money. It was downstairs. So that might be something, I don't know, but, you know, pretty cool. For sure.
And what other happenings happen around here?
My biggest one is that light right over there. I'll fix it and it'll stay working perfectly fine for however long. And then it will just, all of a sudden, as it is right now, as when I turn it on, it'll just flip, and it'll stay dimmer. Then all of the rest of them is if someone just kind of unscrewed it a little bit, and then I'll screw it back in, and it'll light up for a month or two, and then I'll do it again. So just a repeating cycle.
Right.
And just for you guys that are watching, if you never really thought about it, light bulbs don't unscrew themselves.
No, they don't.
Nope.
And that is a high light right there. So.
My boss, Tony, who's the executive director, he has been here early in the morning and later at night by himself. He says that sometimes he doesn't feel, kind of feels eerie and doesn't feel quite like he's by himself, you know. Which it's a big room, you know. It's a really big space.
Right.
When you're in here by yourself, you can feel a little lonely. You can imagine it would be easy to feel lonely, but
it would.
yeah. But he says, you know, you feel like you're not alone, and you probably should feel that way, you know.
So, hey, you know, sometimes we get into places and you just feel like you're being watched the whole time. And I'll tell you what, this place is huge, which you're going to find out tonight. And I could definitely see that feeling. When I first walked in here, the first time I was here, I definitely felt it. So that's why I started asking questions. That's kind of why we're here tonight. All right, so we're back with Chase here. He's going to tell us a little bit more about this. So you said something interesting about who these people are here. Can you go ahead and tell us a little bit more?
Yeah, so this guy up here at the top left, that is Jim Paul Blair. He is actually one of our newest inductees. He got inducted alongside the Turnpike Troubadours. But he passed away maybe 2-3 years ago. I don't know how long exactly. I didn't know any of these guys personally. But from what I know, he was the executive director. And this street out here is actually named after him. The street running along this way is Jim Paul Blair Boulevard.
Oh, very cool.
And but he was the executive director, and I don't really know what happened to him. I think he just got sick one day and just kind of
Passed on.
Yeah. And
So he could still be here. He could come back.
this guy up here on the right, that's Ron Boren, and he was, from what I know about him, he was a curator, and he kind of took care of the museum part of things and just kind of keeping the history of the place alive and everything. But I don't have any idea what happened to him at all. But this guy here, though, I've heard a lot about him. That's Harley Ham.
Harley Ham. That's a great name.
He had my job at the time. He and Jim were really close, from what I hear. He ended up committing suicide because he got so upset about Jim's passing.
So we have a suicide. We have a death by an illness, unknown.
Yeah, or what I know.
Unknown illness.
Yeah.
And then we have another man who don't really know what happened to him, but we know he's passed on.
Yeah.
So could they still be roaming around the Oklahoma Music Hall of Fame? Well, hopefully we're going to find out.
I know that this was him. I assume he was a great musician as well, or else he wouldn't have worked here. But I know the least about him. We call this area here Ron's Rock and Roll Cafe in honor of him.
Okay.
So this is kind of his area. This drumhead right up here says "Well done, Ronald," and a bunch of people signed it for him. That's what I assume is his date of birth and date of death.
Oh, wow.
I assume he liked to say "well done" to whoever he met. So that's what I've been told about him. This is everybody's stuff. Toby Keith's stuff is over there. I know he recently.
Of course, yeah. He just recently passed.
Yeah, so you guys might want to do something about him. But yeah, down here.
We got to do something about him. We got to
We
get him out of here.
Yeah, he's been bothering me. This is also kind of a meeting room.
Oh my God.
Okay.
They have all the important meetings down here.
Surrounded by all of these people.
All of the great people. Yeah, they have the board meetings. Any meeting that ever takes place in this building always happens right here. Like you said, surrounded by all of the greatness that is on the wall. This is literally everyone that is inducted into the Oklahoma
That's-
Music Hall of Fame.
I saw the list, but this makes a huge difference in my mind of how to process it.
And you know, there's so much more just great musicians that come out of the state that are still not inducted.
Oh yeah.
You know, we have a list that is, like, it seems like it's 2
Huge,
miles
yeah.
long, you know, of just
And
people
you can only pick a handful
Yeah.
or two of them
per
each
year, yeah. And they all deserve,
And, yeah.
every one of them on that list deserves to be in. And as you see, we're almost at a wall room, so.
Well, you're gonna have to make the room bigger.
Yeah, we're gonna have to figure something out. Yeah.
This is absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
Just the energy of being around all of these photographs of these people from Oklahoma, many of them just from right here.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we got Carrie right here.
Yeah.
I went to high school with Carrie.
Yeah.
And, you know, just knowing some of these people. And
There's Hinder. I was just saying Hinder.
And I opened for Hinder once.
Oh, cool, cool.
Yeah.
You know, my
So-
bass player's favorite band is Hinder. He has that H tattooed right here
what I
on his
play,
arm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Pretty
in
cool.
the band that I was in.
Yeah.
But, I mean, you can just feel the energy and just
Right.
the history. History excites me. That's what I've always enjoyed. But, I mean, here, aside from the lights being messed with, has anything else ever happened down here?
You know, really, for me, there was one time, but it was kind of my fault. I got really scared one day because usually we come in this bottom door because our alarm system is right here. And I would come in here and I would usually not turn the lights on down here first until I made my way up to that doorway right there. And as you probably saw, the Merle Haggard mannequin dude.
Yeah.
Sometimes when we have our Thursday night shows, which we have Thursday night shows every single Thursday night for $5, so if you guys ain't doing anything, come out. Little plug
I love
there.
shameless plugs.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with it. So I put Merle right here to block off the down here because, you know, we don't want people coming down here because we can't keep up with them when they're down here. So I'd block it off and I came in and I'd set him up there and it was dark and I couldn't see and all I just saw was a figure. And I mean, I went fight or flight, like right then. And then I flicked the light and I realized what I had done.
It was Merle.
Merle Haggard
Merle.
scared the crap out of
Yeah,
me.
he did. Yeah.
I love that.
I do too.
And you know, you like always, any place you'll hear the normal, just like random crap falling, and you go look and nothing happened, or you know, or you'll just hear cracks and squeaks and whatever.
So what about the upstairs? That I know we can't get up there, but I think you were telling me something about hearing footsteps from up there.
Yes, there's times where you could hear it. There's there's a few instances where they were just working on the what are they called? AC units. Brain fart.
Yeah, right.
They're working on the AC units, and you know they climb on the roof to do that. And I didn't know. It scared the crap out of me. I was like, what? But no, I mean, you can feel it when you go up there. I've been up there probably 2 or 3 times, and when you go up there, it's just such a different world. It's like you stepped into a different universe when you go up there, because you go from all this happiness and you know there's all this cool music stuff, and then you step up there and it's just like
Totally different
totally,
energy.
yeah. It's just like crap's falling apart. There's a huge shelf, like I guess it was like a storage area where they kept their files or something. And ceilings coming in, and it just looks creepy up there, you know.
Yeah.
So
This place is 121 years old.
yeah, yeah.
So,
It's impressive for sure.
Oh yeah.
And a lot of it is still original, you know. And we try not to mess with it as much as possible to kind of keep the, you know, a lot of the floors are still the original floor, to my understanding. A lot of the doors, a lot of those are also original. Okay, so this is the radio station. This is where Ron works in the mornings. You see George Strait in the corner over there. Usually during the day, when the lights are on, it's a little harder to see out of the glass than it is to see in it. But right now, since the lights are off here, you can see out of it.
So where's he seeing these shadow figures run by?
So he sits right here in this chair, and he's seeing them out of the corner of his eye.
Oh, so he's got this door open?
Yeah, he always leaves the door open.
So he's seeing them dart past.
Yeah, just jet on by. Yeah. Yeah.
Ah.
This room isn't super big, but yeah, you know, this room was our office before we had a flood happen, where a bunch of water built up because our pipe on the roof was clogged up with leaves and stuff, and a bunch of water built up right here. It ruined several computers and a bunch of files that we had. This was before I got hired, not long before I got hired, but yeah, it just ruined a bunch of our stuff. And we had it remodeled, and opportunity came up to have Okie Country come in, and we just rent this room to them every month, and yeah.
Very cool.
That's cool.
So,
My feet can't touch the floor all the way.
Did you hear that?
Somebody's like 360.
That's probably my daughter's phone telling me that she's got a low battery.
Yeah. That's the low battery sound.
Is there anybody here with us tonight?
We would love to talk with you.
If you're here with us tonight, can you make a noise? Can you knock on something? Did you hear that?
Strike the key on that piano for us if you can.
Can you answer this? Can you answer this? Can you answer this? Just heard something move over here.
Let us know that you are here. Make a sound, walk past us.
You know, we are the first investigators here at the Oklahoma Music Hall of Fame. And even though there could be 3 individuals here that were very modern people, dying as late back as 2019, even 2020, I believe, is Ham. Harley Ham, I think he died in 2020 by an apparent suicide. There might even be some older spirits here who may not understand what we are and what we're doing. And it's still early. But with that being said, I guess my point is, there's definitely an energy here that I can feel. It's not heavy, but it's definitely there, apparent, thicker. Would you agree?
Swelling and dissipating light. So some changes of light may be due to that, but
Oh yeah, I see it, yeah.
there are other things that I've seen that could not be affected by what's going on right there.
And after doing a thorough baseline investigation before we got started doing this, there's not a lot of bouncing energy electricity-wise in this building at all. It's all where it's supposed to be, which is good, because we know we have, at least when it comes to that, we know we have a controlled atmosphere.